I want to welcome everyone to the video on allocating support and joint cost allocations. This video here is going to concentrate solely on allocating support departments. But before we can allocate support departments, we have to know what that is. There are two types of departments we're going to talk about: producing departments and support departments. Producing departments is what we have right here. Those create the goods or services that the company sells. Support department provides services for the producing departments. So producing departments are the ones that have the direct materials and direct labor and units produced. Support departments are entirely overhead costs. So the overhead costs have to be allocated into the producing departments so we can come up with a rate for each department. Okay, so we have an example here. We want to start off with just one support department, which is a copy department. So I have a company, One Stop College has a copy department, and it's shared by the accounting, business administration, and office technologies departments. Okay, and that's a comma. Okay, and here's the fixed costs. It's $15,800, and the variable costs are 0.0225, so 2 1/4 cents per copy. So it's got fixed and variable components in it. Now, during the year, we came up with the estimated usage. The accounting department said they'd use 56,700 sheets. Business administration was 40,500, and office technology was 64,800, for a total of 162,000 copies. This column over here for the year was the actual usage: the 55.2, 39,069, and 163.2. Okay, if we use the single rate, what we'd have, okay, the single rate, we take the fixed costs, which is the 15,800, and we have the 2225 times the 162, which then, if we add those together, gives us 19,445. Okay. Now we have to come up with the cost per page. So to get the cost per page, we take the cost, which is the 19,445, and divide it by the estimated 12 cents per page. Okay. So that's the number we would use to allocate these costs. So the allocation of overhead then, we would take the actual usage of 55,200 times the 12 cents, which gives us 6626. For the business administration, we would take the actual usage of 39,000 times the 12 cents. And for office technology, we would have they use 69,000 times the 12 cents. Remember, for allocating overhead, the estimated usage is to come up with the rate, but then you take the rate times the actual usage, and then we add those up, and that gives us $19,589. Okay, so what happens on this one is over applied, because we applied 19,589 and we should have had 1945. So we overplayed it by $144. Now, it says, what happens if office technology, instead of using 69,000, use 66,600? Well, the accounting is going to stay the same. So that's the 55.2 times the 12 cents. And business administration was the 39,000 times the 12 cents equal, oops, hit the wrong button there, equal 39,000 times the 12 cents. So those haven't changed. What has changed, though, this is now 66,600 times the 12 cents. Okay, we add those up, and it gives us 19,000. 66, then I use 66,600 times the 12 cents, yeah. 79,994, which is 19,301. So what we have here then is equal to the 19,445 is what we should have had, and $19,301. So it's $144 under applied in this situation. Okay. All right. Now this is a dual rate. We're going to allocate the overhead first, the fixed costs, then we'll allocate the variable costs. So this is based on the peak monthly usage. Now that has to be given to you, okay? Because this is the yearly rate up here, how much we use for the year. But this is the monthly, the most they use in a given month. That'll be given. Okay, so what we want to find is the percentage. And I want to use the round function for that. And I'll take the 51,800 divided by the 14.8. And we'll do a comma 3. That's it. I want it for 3 decimal places. And also I want to absolute value the 14,800. So that gives me 35%. So I have that down. So it's 25% and 40% and 100%. Okay. Now this is my fixed cost. That was up here at 15,800. So that's what we'll go here. Then to get the allocation, which is what will go here, allocation of fixed costs is what will go there. This will equal 35% times the 15.8. We can absolute value that. So that gives me 5530. And we copy that down. And that is my allocation of the fixed costs. Okay. Now the variable costs, remember, is equal to that cell there. So we have for it, because when we copy it down, we don't want that to change, because that's my variable cost per sheet. And then the total variable cost then is the 55,200 times the 225, because we should have used the actual usage there, which is what we have there. Okay, and then we copy that down and then add them up. That gives me 3672. The fixed costs was the allocation, is what we did up here. So we can copy it down, 55,300, 3950, 6320, for a total of 15.8. So my total then will be the 12,042 plus the 5530 for the accounting, and so it'd be 6772. So it's a little bit different by doing it this way. It can vary quite a bit, but in this case it's just a little different. So the accounting total overhead that's allocated for the accounting department is 6772 under the dual rate, where it's 6626 under the single rate. For the business administration, under the single rate was 4681, dual rate was 4828. And the office technology was 8282, and now it's 7873. Okay, and that's based on the dual rate. Now, what happens if you have multiple departments? Well, with multiple departments, we have 3 methods that we can use: direct method, step method, and what they call is reciprocal method. We're going to start with the direct method, because it's the simplest. Then we go to the step method, and then of course the reciprocal method is also known as the algebraic method, and that's one people don't like. So what we have is, here's some more information. We have a power department, maintenance department, assembly, and polishing. And there's my cost: 350, 192, 295, and 172. That's my overhead costs. Normal activities, power, because you don't have any kilowatt hours, because that's what it's generating. Maintenance uses 300,000 kilowatt hours in this time period, which may be a year. Assembly uses 900,000, and polishing uses 300,000. And for the maintenance hours, power uses 1,500 maintenance hours, 6,750 each for assembly and polishing. Okay, so remember, we're going to allocate by direct method. The direct method means you take the support departments and allocate them directly into the assembly department. So equal, we want to allocate to 350,000, and they go into the assembly department. So this is equal to, okay, the 350 times, okay, power is allocated based on kilowatt hours, so it's a 900,000 divided by It'd be the 900,000 plus the 300,000. The absolute value of those. So that gives us 262,500. Now what we'd have to do is copy this over, because I absolute valued things, and that gives me the 48. Oh, I forgot the absolute value of 350. So that should be D. Okay, 87,500. That's what I want. Because you want to take this, is you take the 350,000 times 900 divided by 1.2 million, because that's what these two add up together. And then you take the 350,000 times 300,000 times 1.2 million, which is those two added together. Okay, and that's allocating the power. Then we're going to allocate the maintenance department. So when we get done, the support department should equal 0. Okay, now maintenance department is equal to the 192, absolute value at this time, times, okay, it's based on maintenance hours. So the 6750 divided by the 6750 plus the 6750, which gives you 96,000. And we had it, so it's 96,000 because both of them use the same number of hours. Then what we'll do is add these up. Okay, the 350 all the way down. So that one should be 0. The second one, of course, should be 0. And then that's what we'd allocate the overhead. 635, 500, and 355, 500. Okay. The step method. What we'll do in the step method is we allocate. And we're going to allocate power into all three departments first, then the maintenance into the assembly department. We step our way across. So this one is the entire 350,000 will be allocated. Now the maintenance department will be equal to, and I'll put a minus there because I want a positive number, the 350 times, okay, we come up here for the maintenance because we don't want to allocate. Maintenance uses 300,000 divided by the 300,000 plus the 900,000 plus the 300,000 because they're allocated into everything. So that gives us $70,000. And I forgot the absolute, that one again. Okay. And then we allocate it across because what we'll do for this one is we'll take the 350,000 times, this times 900,000 times the 1.5 million. And this is the 350,000 times 300,000 times divided by the 1.5 million again. Okay. Now on this one, we need to allocate the total here, the 192 plus the 70. So we want to allocate 262,000. And again, we'll take the 262,000 and F4 times, I put a negative in front of that. And it's maintenance. This is the maintenance department. So again, it's the 6750 divided by the 6750 plus the 6750 is, what did I do? Oh, something happened here. Plus the 6750. There, 131. Didn't take for some reason. Okay. Then again, we add these up. And the first two again should be 0. And the last is our difference. So you notice we have a little different overhead for that one. Okay. We do the reciprocal method on